Hi everyone, my name is Gabby and I'm a member of the Saskatchewan Science Center's Go Science outreach team. Today I'm here in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan at the Saskatchewan Burrowing Owl Interpretive Center, and I'm going to be getting a tour, and I'm going to be filming for you guys, and we are going to go meet some burrowing owls. So let's go!
Welcome everybody to the Saskatchewan Burrowing Owl Interpretive Center, and we're going to do a quick tour, so come on along guys. Now our center has actually been in Moose Jaw since 1997, and we came about as a partnership between several different nature organizations around the province. And the main reason why the center was located here in Moose Jaw is because historically we were lucky enough to have a group of wild burrowing owls that used several different locations around the city as nesting sites. And the center is actually located on the exhibition grounds where there were several pairs of wild burrowing owls that used the inside oval of the old harness racing track here, and it's just out in front. Unfortunately, we don't have any of those wild burrowing owls left within the city limits anymore. Our last confirmed sighting was actually up here on the exhibition grounds in 2005. But the center has a small group of permanent burrowing owl residents that stay with us year-round, and we can go meet some of them now. The center's mandate is actually to promote the conservation of burrowing owls through education, ecotourism, and stewardship. And our captive burrowing owls help us do that by giving everybody the opportunity to see one of Saskatchewan's endangered species up close and personal. Today we're actually home to 9 burrowing owls, and these guys came to us either as owls that were born into captivity or owls that had been injured in the wild, and due to those injuries would be unable to survive in the wild, so they needed a permanent home, and we were happy to give that to them. This little fellow is one of our older males. His name is Chip. So all the owls that we're seeing here today are actually adult-sized burrowing owls. They're one of the smaller owl species that we have here in Saskatchewan, only slightly larger than an American robin. This is our bonded pair, Joey and Artemis. And Artemis is actually one of those little owls that came to us because she received an injury in the wild that would have prevented her from taking care of herself. She was found at Grasslands National Park with a broken wing. And because the break prevented her from flying, she was unable to hunt for herself. So she required a home, and we were happy to give that to her. I don't know how well you can see Lily, but she's actually one of the youngsters from a hatch that we had last year at the center. And the little one up here is Thea. Burrowing owls are actually a very unique owl among all other owls because they're the only owl species to nest underground, and that's how they came by their name, burrowing owls. And if you can see at the back of the cages, we actually have 2 small little holes that appear as holes, and that's actually the entrance to their burrows. So these guys will spend their downtime in their burrows. Fella here at the end, his name is Cricket, and he's actually one of our imprinted or hand-raised owls. Because it's our mandate to educate the public about the burrowing owls, we're actually lucky enough to have several hand-raised owls that we can use for our educational programming. So when we go out to schools and other organizations to do presentations, we're actually able to take one of our owls, like Cricket, and give people the opportunity to see them. We're hoping to get a couple of close-ups of Cricket here in just a moment. This is just a little behind-the-scenes peek of the alleyway behind the burrowing owl cages. Now this is accessible to staff only, and it allows us to come in and feed the owls as well as check nest boxes or their burrows. The owls are just fed through a small feeding door here, so we don't have to disrupt them too often. And these little guys are fed once a day, but they will eat anywhere between 1 and 3 mice, depending on their activity levels or the time of year. They're also free to, of course, hunt for any insects that they may find in their cages. Now in the wild, burrowing owls would use abandoned gopher or badger holes. Here though, we offer a man-made structure for them. And the tunnels that you saw on the outside of the cages lead into a nest box. And everybody has a nest box available to them. Getting excited to say hi to everybody. You can hear him here in the background. It's Cricket. He's one of our hand-raised owls. And he's just getting a little bit of a snack. So unlike a lot of other owl species, burrowing owls tend to eat a lot of insects. They're actually really good at natural type of pest control. So it's important for farmers and ranchers and even us city dwellers to pay attention to some of the insects that are around us, because they can be very beneficial to the animals that live in our areas. So Cricket's 5 years old. He was hatched right here at the center. And he's been working with us since he was about a week old. That's actually when he started his training to become an ambassador owl. Good boy. Good boy, Cricket. So burrowing owls are actually a migratory species. The wild population will travel down to Texas and Mexico for the winter, and then they'll return to the southern parts of Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba in early spring for a breeding season. So our owls, they'll stay outside through the spring and summer, but now that the temperatures are starting to dip, we will be bringing them indoors where they will winter, and we're just going to do a quick walk through their winter enclosures for everybody to see. About the only difference that you'll see in their wintering enclosures, other than being nice and toasty warm, is that the nest boxes are actually above ground. But everybody will utilize them very much like they do their outdoor burrows. And that was it for our behind the scenes tour of the center. And this now is actually our display area, which lays out all the information for individuals who come and visit the center, gives them information as well as several beautiful photographs to look at. So this gives us a nice shout out to Bubo at the Science Center. Great horned owls are actually one of the main predators of burrowing owls here on the prairies. So it's always something that they like to keep a sharp eye out for. And badgers and gophers are very important for burrowing owls because these are the two of the top animals that provide the owls with their burrows. And in the wild, this is what a burrow would look like. You can see the tunnel leading into the nesting cavity. And depending on who did the architecture, the burrows may be, just a few feet under the ground to, maybe up to 5-6 feet underground, depending. So this specimen here is just an enlarged burrowing owl skull. It shows you just how large the eyes are in comparison to the skull. Owl eyes are actually about 30% of the skull's weight. Fun fact, if you guys were to suddenly morph into burrowing owls, your eyes would be about the size of baseballs. This is actually one of my favorite areas in the display room because it shows you how fast a burrowing owl will mature. They start off very small, no bigger than the size of your thumb when they first hatch out of their eggs. But by the time a burrowing owl chick is about 4 weeks old, they're almost fully independent of their parents. And by the time they're 6 weeks old, these guys are pretty much taking care of themselves. Although they will stay in a family unit until they're ready to migrate in the fall. That'll show you how small a burrowing owl egg is. Slightly larger than a robin's egg, but not by much. And a female will lay anywhere between 5 and 12. And another fun fact is that a group of burrowing owls is actually called a parliament.
thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you had fun learning about all the Burrowing Owls here. You are now considered Parla members with the Burrowing Owls at the center. I just wanted to quickly thank Lori Johnson, the owl coordinator at the Burrowing Owl Center, for allowing us to come in and get a tour. I feel very privileged to get the behind the scenes tour, and I hope you all really enjoyed it and learned a lot. So thank you again, Lori, and everyone have an awesome day.